Can't believe
It is agreeable to see you, Siegebreaker. Klurikon can be inhospitable at times, as the Tuatha have learned. We've made sure of it. So I did. We are the Bitter Frost, the last few remnants of free Winter Fae. We have refused to bend knee to Gadflow or his god. Our numbers are few, but we have fought our kin as best we can. The once noble houses of sorrow, pride, and vengeance have all fallen under Gadflow's sway. Until they're freed, the Tuatha's ranks will continue to swell with the faithful. You can't fight a war on your own. And even if you could, you'd find your path barred by the House of Pride, as well as the House of Vengeance. You need a way to strike at their heart. A way to reach Gadflow himself. And we know how you can get there. Blind him. Cut out his tongue. Draw the venom from our land. Only then will we be able to begin to strike at Alabastra. The Tuatha have built Prismere chantries across Klurikon. From here, Gadflow rallies the faithful, preaches the word of Tirnoch, and corrupts our land. Destroy these chantries and disrupt Gadflow's ability to infect its land. Without Gadflow to guide them, the Tuatha in Klurikon will be disorganized and scattered. When this is done, we'll take you to Ventrinio. He can help you breach Alabastra. The Tuatha built chantries of Prismere in the heart of Klurikon. From here, Gadflow watches, and his toxic prayers seep into the heart of every Winter Fae. No Fae can withstand their power up close, and no House of the Winter Court can be free until those abominations are destroyed. There are 3 of them, to the south and east. Kill their guards, then smash their crystals and be done with them. Gadflow will try to stop you, but it's just a harmless projection. He can't hurt you. At least, not directly. Go now. Break the tyrant's grip.
these Fae have formed quite a fighting force. It'll be good to have them on our side. I had wondered what happened to the Winter Fae when Gadflow took control. Seems that they formed the Bitter Frost. They've got as much to fight for as our kind, and nothing left to lose. We couldn't ask for a better ally. Old Sidon's a snake, but he's still on our side. Why, I remember when he helped rescue my fiancée from Rassilon, back in my younger days. Of course, she called off the wedding and just mooned over Sidon after all that. He has that effect. Gigantic red pillar with the image of Gadflow? We saw one of those back in Dalentarth. That seems so long ago. If they're everything Sidon says they are, sounds like Gadflow is trying to get a foothold in Dalentarth. Sounds like that thing in the Dalentarth cave, when Gadflow talked to us. Kill the guards, smash the crystals, and that should sort them out. Be careful around the chantries. Even you can't...
I think at first they were genuine friends. We were so young, with nothing in the world to really concern us. There was no place for malice or resentment. I don't care anymore, they're not worth my breath. I was in a place of promise. Lyria's magic shined throughout the halls. New and interesting people were everywhere. None as interesting as that divine spirit, but promising. I learned more there in 2 days than I did my entire life elsewhere. In fact, I owe my mentors a debt of gratitude. Were it not for them, I would never have found it.
So few of the Winter Court left to stand against.
Dare not beyond our own. Face your
stole the secrets of magic, and now they come to take our land. But all that they find here shall be death. Fight all your life, mortal. We will carry on when you are dust. So, the undying mortal from the well has returned. Your mere existence is an abomination against all things. How can you not see this? A child of dust who lives after death. A creature separated from your fate. A being with neither purpose nor reason. You were a mistake. A new way mortals found to pervert the world. Soon you shall be cleansed from my lands. Mortals are born to die. In Tyrnak's name, we must lead them to their fate. Is but a flickering candle before the whirlwind of Tyrnak. You struggle against the force of a simple army. How will you fare, I wonder, against the power of a god? Of course you aren't. You may be a foolish, unclean sin against the natural order, but I'll grant that you're no coward. The only solution is for you to be cleansed when Tyrnak the Merciful comes to our world. Soon. A mortal dares to stand against Tyrnak? Strike him down and salt the earth of his grave. Nothing may live, lest Tyrnak commands it. Mortals are born to die. In Tyrnak's name, we must lead them to their fate. Mortals are born to die. In Tyrnak's name, we must lead them to their fate. try as you might, struggle as you will, you are deluded. There is no winning for you, only death. Yes, but death as you define it means little to us. The great cycle returns, each to offer as to offer again. And every time they do, Tirnoch gets stronger. Soon, she will be born into this world. You will witness her power personally, and it will be the last thing your mortal flesh shall ever feel.
So,
Gadfro's voice has fallen silent in this land. The Tuatha are frightened and disorganized. They run back to Alabastra to make their final stand. We owe you much. Our eyes are opened and our blades unsheathed. Klurikon is won, but the House of Pride stands between us and the final goal. We are now free to press forward. And I can take you to an old friend who knows the next step. Yes, we will take you to his filthy tower on the island of Danistar. He hides within, and has not emerged in some time. I would like nothing more than to let him rot there. But he knows of a way past the sentinel of the House of Pride. But there will be more danger on the path ahead. Take these blades to prepare for whatever troubles you will face at his tower or beyond. Far to the southwest, there is a darkened tree by the Kaled coast. Meet me there, and we can walk the shadow to the gnome's tower. Aelin Shear will be waiting there. She was most insistent to join in whatever business you have with the Collector of the Dead. Danistar Island is sheltered from visitors by stone and storm. Exiles of the Winter Court were once banished to its lonely shores. We know of a secret shadowed path, a legacy from a house all too familiar with exile. My people are no strangers to exile on the barren island of Danistar. To steal back our freedom, the House of Sorrows forged a path to the coast through living shadow. It's safe so long as you keep your eyes closed during the journey and ignore the whispers. We've seen Ventrinio leave the island before, but until recently, he always had company. Usually they were henchmen. Sometimes they were corpses. And once, not too long ago, it was you. Meet me at the Kaled coast. The Winter Fae know of a shadow path to Ventrinio's island. We will meet again at the shadow tree on the... unleashed. Gadflow will pay for the corruption of this land.
The Tuatha are on the run. Good work. Plus, it's much more pleasant here without Gadflow bellowing at me from all corners. But enough pleasantry. Are you prepared for your reunion with Ventrinio? The notes we got from Octien say that you were employed as Ventrinio's assistant in his secret laboratory. You were with him in Alabastra when you died, but the notes weren't clear on what happened. I'm sure the two of you have so much catching up to do. Very forthright of you. I'm sure he'll be very reasonable. He probably won't even ask why you're back from the dead. Just make sure he lives long enough to get us into Alabastra, and you can count on my help. Sidon's band of merciless Fae with lifetimes of training and everything to fight for? Yes, I think they'll be quite useful allies indeed. I've heard tales of his work, half trickster, half spirit of vengeance. Danistar is almost perfectly defended. Ventrinio could keep an army off of its shores. Good thing we found another way there. Believe it or not, the House of Sorrows is the most welcoming of the Unseelie houses. Then again, a viper nest is friendlier than the houses of pride and vengeance. The Fae of House Vengeance has always embraced their anger. Before Gadflow, they accepted it and controlled it. Now they wield it like a pair of swords. When mortals were welcomed into the Faelands, Vengeance already despised us as interlopers. When Gadflow declared war, they were already on his side. Secret Fae paths through elemental darkness? Magic like that should be closely guarded. Imagine how powerful it could be. He's a worm, but a useful one. Octien took quite a risk setting him up in Klurikon. Must have made a lot of deals to keep him safely hidden away. Of course, this is bound to be informative. I'm just disappointed I never had a chance to see the original Well of Souls. I believe our new friend has a disturbing path of living shadow to offer you. By all means, be my guest. This island smells like death. Stay behind me. Whatever that gnome's been up to, it looks like he's... Just as Hughes thought, Ventrinio used the same wards from their old lab. This'll be quick. Follow me and be careful.
The energy from the Well of Souls is overwhelming.
Damn it! What's wrong? And why are there so many labs?
Sounds like our rat is caught in a trap. I'm sure he'd be happy to help whoever saves him. Careful, or we'll get trapped up there too. Here's where we part ways. I'll stop the lads at the stairwell. You get upstairs and retrieve Ventrinio. Shouldn't be hard to find him. Keep moving up and follow the cowardly shrieking. I'll hold this staircase. Move!
A new source of power? What sort of nonsense is this? If anything had come in here, my detection spells would have... Wait, who's down there? Show yourself! damn it all! I don't care who you are. Get happy! Key to stabilizing the weather. This is what I get for using all those souls. I never should have let them keep their swords.
When you get up, try not to look directly into the well. Set it. Before the whole well starts to collapse. Took your time. Gods damn it! Ever since the Balor was defeated, the Chaos magic sent the well off its alignment. You show up, and now the Laz are... Wait. What? It's you. You're alive. But I saw you die. I'm Ventrinia, of course. Don't you remember me? You were my assistant here at the Well of Soul. You were going to help me change the world. But of course, that was before you died. It was terrible. You were the best assistant I ever had. Who else could have helped me get into Alabastra? Who else had that ambition? We got more than enough Prismere, but you wanted to track down the power source, even if it meant sneaking right onto Gadflow's nose. I spent days trying to recover your body, but I never expected to find you alive, or for you to return. Speaking of which, how did you return anyway? Of course you did. You went there to steal Prismere to power the well, and you wanted to go after the source of the Prismere itself. You went off, geared for war, sneaking into Baal itself. You damned fool! I had a better chance of bringing you back from the dead than I had of changing your mind. But I wasn't able to do either. What? That's impossible. You were attuned at this well. You've never even set foot in his lab. Ha! Hughes is a joke. He doesn't have the stomach for this work. Don't try waking the dead if you're not ready to make a few corpses, I see. But the well is coming down around us. Quick! I've got to slow the energy and shut this thing down. And don't... Oh, damn it all. Here they come. Hold them off. The Laz are here. Hold them off while I try to stop the flow of energy to the well. Ignore the rumbling. Focus on the Laz. There. Perfectly safe. I think. Anything we can... All my work gone. Damn it all! But at least we're still alive. Once again, I triumph over death itself. Going back into Alabastra. Well, I still have a way in, but it's more dangerous now than the last time we went. I'll need more Prismere if I'm to rebuild the well. And I suppose I owe you something for saving my life. Perhaps this talisman can help you. It's a little something I salvaged from the debris. It might just help against whatever killed you the first time. We got in with a little help, of course. See, it's all because of Callus Dren, the defender of pride. In his house, no one can stand before him. None can even approach, unless you have my little secret. Patience, patience. You'll have it soon enough. I'm going to have to dig it out of the rubble of the tower. Go to the field of Huber, and I'll meet you there. And if you value your life, do not approach Dren. I know the type. Lucky youth, peaked early, then crawled into a bottle and waited to die. I'm impressed you dragged him away from that bottle, but I wouldn't expect him to do any heavy thinking. You mean your deadly little shadow? I know her type. All smiles now, but it's just so she can get close enough to stick her knives in you. After an unfortunate incident with the Templars, Octian decided to move my work someplace a little further from the public eye. We both felt that an island in another land behind the front lines of a war might just be far enough from prying eyes. Dren, defender of pride. One of twin defenders, quite powerful in their homes. But did you know they were also entirely immune to each other's powers? And it seems the Defender of Valor quite disappeared when her house fell. Imagine how useful she would have been if she were here today. Simple bone soldiers, easy enough for any decent mage to build and animate. They're not really alive any more than a puppet is. Gadflow's got an empire built on Prismir. Think of all the power he's sitting on. And he's wasting it on swords and bows. Arrogant fools, all of them. At least we could sneak past them when they were overconfident. Now that the army's at their gate, they'll be watching for us. He wasn't fit to hold my crucible, much less carry on my work. He could barely even stand to cut open a warm corpse for study. I can't imagine the reason you came back in his well instead of mine. Probably some freak attunement transfer. A horrible, messy, ugly place. Too dark to keep bodies preserved and too hot to keep them from stinking. Oh, to be back in a cave in Detir. Partial successes at best. They remember how to fight, but that's about all they're good for. Name them after an old nursery rhyme. Damn things are always moaning all the time. I thought it might shut them up to give them a name. You don't remember it? Well, why dredge up the past? After all, you're fine now, aren't you? You're not the type to hold a grudge, right? Okay. We were in Alabastra getting Prismir. I never thought it'd be dangerous. At least not very. Oh, don't give me that look. Accidents happen, and you can't make an omelette without leaving a few corpses. I didn't know anything about you before you worked for me. Octian hired you and told me you were a resourceful assistant. That's all I know. You didn't like talking about yourself. Actually, you didn't like much of anything. Honestly, you were a terror to be around. But you've changed. I can tell. Before you died, you would never have been this diplomatic. You probably would have knifed me for answers by now. Oh, speaking of which, you left this in your room before you died. Take it. We were in Alabastra, and I never thought it'd be dangerous. At least, not very. Oh, don't give me that look. Accidents happen. You can't make an omelette without leaving a few corpses. Fine. We were collecting Prismir and Alabastra. We needed it to power the well, of course, and you got a wild idea to track down the source of the power. I tried to stop you. I really did. But you decided to sneak into Amethyst, and I wasn't about to get killed along with you. I spent days trying to get your corpse back, but to no avail. Much as I hate to admit it, I should thank Hughes for succeeding where I failed. Octian, the man lacked vision. Can you believe all he wanted was his own personal immortality machine? Such a narrow-minded goal for a Templar. Still, he wasn't squeamish about what had to be done in order to develop the well. I suppose he paid well, too, if you'd consider that any reason to pursue the sciences. We needed tremendous quantities of prismere to fuel the well, but it's almost unheard of outside of Alabastra, so we had to sneak in to gather our own. My name is Ventrinio Dessalini, and I am Professor Emeritus Abscondus of Post-Mortem Studies at the Edessa University. Of course, that was all before I began work on the Well of Souls. Such an important undertaking doesn't leave much time for other pursuits, you know. The Well of Souls is a noble project. Yes, sacrifices have been made. Laws have been broken. People have died. And they will continue to die. Don't you see? That's exactly what I'm trying to prevent. How many have died in this war? Thousands. The bodies are shoulder deep in the battlefields, but for trying to cure it, they call me a monster? Just go to the field of Huber and wait for me. I'll meet you down there once I can find this damned essence. Get going. And remember, don't go near Dren until I get... Go,
You took quite a tumble from the tower.
At the front.
There's got to be a... I won't lie. Aylin's been a big help. She saved me once or twice at Melson's Shear when she could have just let me die. Still can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something. But whatever it is, it's probably not too sinister. Probably. The House of Pride practically drips with curses and enchantments, but the most powerful one is Dren himself. Any luck finding Ventrinio and his big secret? And it looks like they're not far behind you. If you were anyone else, I'd try to stop you. As it is, I'll just wish you good luck. This can't end here.
Sometimes one soldier can do what an entire army...
You haven't tried going in there, have you? No, of course you haven't. You're still alive. This took a little longer to find than I had hoped, but it should be exactly what you need. Dren had a twin in the Summer Court, Dith the Defender of Valor. They were both entirely immune to each other's power. She faded when the House of Valor fell, but my early experiments with the Well of Souls provided a quite useful little surprise. You see, when trying to draw life energy from the ether, I captured her essence and bound it into this charm. With this, you will be immune to Dren's power. It's not as powerful as it used to be, and it's specific to Dren. But it'll let you face him and live. Now, be fair. Fae don't have souls as mortals do. They're a form of magic with a physical form. And I only got a little of it anyway. Just enough for a certain degree of immunity to Dren's power. It only works for one person, but it'll be enough for you to reach him. Trouble is, he'll be immune to your power as well. But I'm sure you can think of something. You've got his counterpart's essence, so he shouldn't be able to hurt you. What more do you want? So what if he's still invulnerable too? Go find a way around it. I can't do all of your thinking for you. I had no idea what a treasure I had when I first caught Dith's essence. It was just a curiosity sitting on a shelf for the longest time. What a pleasant surprise that she could be of use to someone after all this time, eh? With the essence of valor, you can withstand Dren's attacks. Stop being such a child and go face him. Now, go show that defender what a little magic...
I don't know what you're planning, but...
Turn back or die. Then you shall die like the others before you. I made an oath to protect my house and my homeland. No power short of death can keep me from fulfilling my duties. I know your intentions are to free my people from the Tuatha. You seem an honorable sort. You even bear the blessing of my sister. But I have sworn an oath to defend my house and homeland. I cannot let you in without a fight, and you cannot win against me. If only things could be different. If only the Tuatha were gone and my sister was back. Enough. We could fight each other until the mountains wear away, but that will aid nothing. My sister and I were chosen to protect our kind. So long as our houses stood, the Fae would never pass from this world. I in pride, and she in valor. We never imagined that our houses could crumble beneath our feet. Mortals led to the collapse of my sister's house, but with Gadflow's help, they shall not have mine. He may taint pride with his Prismere and his obscene god, but it will keep us eternal. Before I knew the truth of Tuatha, I swore to keep my homeland safe from invaders. I could never have known what my people would become. Fae never change, and pride's honor never yields.
cannot yield. But if your true intent is to stop Godflow, then perhaps there is a way my house and my honor could remain pure. If you would promise to spare the House of Pride, then we could put aside our powers and have an honest battle, win, and your army may pass. If this is the only way to secure a chance for my house's untainted survival, then so be it. If you should win, then destroy the Tuatha in my house and the hateful witch knight Myrna. Then we can be truly free.
And he was not alone. Like the weave unraveling, the Tuatha now tainted the purity of Mathon's court.
How can... You did it! You actually beat him! Guess I owe Ventrinia a drink. A promise is a promise, and the Witch Knights of Pride would be powerful allies to have on our side. I'll send a few soldiers along to help. Meanwhile, I'll get the other troops ready to move into Alabastra once that gate opens. Dren's one of the Sentinels, isn't he? I've heard they were a pair of twins, unkillable on their homelands, protecting their people from attack. I've heard stories about Dith, the other Sentinel, from the days when the House of Valor still stood. I heard about her, but she was before my time. All I know is she was some great hero of the House of Valor. I once toasted with her comrades at a statue to her, but even the statue crumbled long ago. The gate to Alabastra is still closed, and we can't open it without the House of Pride's help. Clean out the Tuatha inside, and we can move on. Get that gate open, and the army will be ready to go.
With you here, we can't lose.
Halt! If you would be so kind as to have a word with us. I have been chosen by the remaining members of our house to speak for all. We were most honored by your intention to free us. We are in seclusion, so it's best to observe this situation without any unnecessary interference or risk to ourselves. I assure you, we will be more than happy to assist you in Alabastra. Simply carry forth and destroy Witch Knight Myrna, who has so commandeered our house, and her dreadful Prismere Chantry, of course. We are sure you'll have no problem finding her, or defeating her. We eagerly anticipate your success.
Well done, child of dust. You've killed the immortal defender and liberated a house full of arrogant backstabbers. I should thank you for exposing the disloyal amongst my kin. But then, I have so much to thank you for. Your bravado is nothing more than the mewling of an angry kitten. Each two other you kill makes the rest of us stronger. Each one feeds Tirnoch. The goddess of mercy awakens. And with every step you take into my homeland, she comes that much closer to walking our world and purging your kind. So welcome to Alabastra. It shall be the death of you once more.
We have seen our champion bested, our advantage lost, and our minds are cleared. Bravo to you, champion. House of Pride, in our ineffable wisdom, renounces the Tuatha and demands that you accept our immediate surrender. Your army is welcome here. We trust our benevolence will be well remembered should Gadflow be dethroned. We thank you kindly, and our mages have already been assisting your army in their march into Alabastra. We trust you do not object. Most excellently spoken. You have the commanding presence of a young Aegon, who once also bore the pleasure of our august company. Allow us to welcome you to Alabastra. We trust your visit will be eventful. Prince Sidon is a Fae of noble tradition. He would never raise a hand against the High King, just as he would never bow before the Tuatha. We've been gifted with so much. It's only proper that we are also immortal, so as to put our gifts to the most use. Conversely, poor children of dust have so little, but are given barely a moment to live. How kind the world is. How Gadflow came to command such respect is beyond even our wisest. He was little more than a jester at the Winter Court. But he said he found the voice of Tirnoch, and she led him to power. And it seems he was correct. As the Fae are above mortals, the House of Pride reigns above their fellow Fae, sharing our wisdom, our grace, and our humility. Vengeance is such a sloppy, boorish house. Marvelous fighters, of course, but simply crude. They all feel that the world has wronged them somehow. And perhaps it did. How else would they end up in such a hateful house? Myself? Why, this one is merely the lowest ranked of our house. And yet we have been chosen as the speaker for the Fae of Pride. To us falls the honor of acting as liaison to your mortal army. Your charming, well-bred, and simply lovely army. The Tuatha bred in our lands before we realized what change they truly represented. Certainly we all share a distaste for mortals, but few of us ever hunted them.
The House of Pride opened its gates and welcomed us as honorary champions. They say it's simple hospitality, but I suspect we have you to thank. Now is the difficult part. We can hold Klurikon, even push a little into Alabastra, but we don't have the forces to mount a siege on Gadflow. Once the House of Pride gives their word, they'll never break it. At least, not what it looks like we're winning. Our real problem is that we can't march the army through Alabastra. Not in formation, at least. This will call for smaller groups. Alabastra is a maze of valleys. Gadflow's remaining faithful would spot an army moving together, and the valleys would be the death of us. But where an army would fail, the 5 of us can triumph. If we split up, we can travel faster and catch them unaware. We will at the House of Vengeance, on Gadflow's doorstep. From there, we strike at Bale, the heart of his empire. I'm sure you know more about it than I do. After all, you were here last. That's where we'll find Gadflow, and where we'll put an end to this whole war. I hope you're ready. This time. Ventrinio says he has a way to defeat Dren. However he got into Alabastra before, you'll have to use it to put an end to Dren's defenses once and for all. Now that you've driven off the Tuatha, those House of Pride fools don't even want to acknowledge they ever served Gadflow. Disgusting little turncoats. But useful ones to have on our side, as long as we keep an eye on them. More than you'd think. But I promise I'll explain it all to you. Maybe once Gadflow's dead. I'll see you in Alabastra.
Hope you've got better luck this time, eh?
Hey, you're the hero of Melsenshir. I've heard all about you. Private Eyeless Ilva at your service. Don't have much for supplies, but you're welcome to them. We've survived 2 night raids, but we lost our healer and our weaponsmith in the confusion. And don't even mention the mercenaries. I'm skilled with a bow, but not enough to defeat an entire band of Tuatha, and there aren't many others who can fight. I like where I am and what I do, and I have no interest in changing. Made the mistake of changing things once, but one can always change things back.